Greetings, dear magnificent, beloved, and always loved divine being that you are. You know I'm speaking to you. This is for us. I love you very much. I do this because I love you. I love myself. I love the divine. I know who you are. Yes, because I know who I am. So take a nice deep breath. Celebrate your individuality as well as your sameness. What do you mean? How could I be same and individual? This is cool. I'm going to use the word achincha beta beta tattva. That's Sanskrit because you know my work is through metaphysics, the Essene of Yeshua, and the Vedic teachings of magnificence and glory. I've studied all kinds of paths and all of this, but I really notice in connecting the dots, these three have really unlimited potentials for people on each level. Really cool stuff. So your individuality and also your sameness, a chincha beta beta tattva, meaning you're inconceivably, simultaneously the same as others and different. Now, what happens when you get a oneness movement? We're all the same. We're all the same. No. That's a bunch of ants, and even the ant forms are different. But insects seem to get they communicate, just like trees. Trees communicate with each other. Trees are like tall cosmic towers that bring in cosmic energy. When I'm burning a piece of wood in the wood stove, I'm getting stored solar energy of 50 years ago, or to however old that tree was before it was felled. And then I'm getting sunlight that was stored inside that wood, and that's why it feels so good, and it is so wonderful, and you're getting that. All right. So there's a chincha beta beta tattva where inconceivably and simultaneously you can't conceive of it. Who you are is beyond conception. Conceptions are words, they're thoughts. That when the word was made God, then you are now a conception, you're a definition. And we're going to define who's human, and we're going to say a machine or a computer is a person, because we're going to use words to define. And yet you're beyond definition. Phonicians, you're beyond definition. Phonics, please, come on, do your work. I'm falling over because of truth. Because when I get rid of the truth, I start going forward. Okay, and to liberate, and we've talked, well, you can't be an individual. You can't stand out. You can't be who you are. You've got to, and you take a look at where you poor little souls in China and different places, and everybody, we've got a uniform. We're inexact. Our hair's cut the same way. We walk the same way. We wear the same clothes. We do the same thing. We live the same, because we don't want anybody to feel bad because you're different than they are. Yeah, but you take a look at who is creating this for everybody else. They don't live like everybody else. Oh, no. Because we'll tell everybody who can be, because there are people, there are stock. That's the stock market. There are our controlled human resource of who we could get that divine energy to work for us and manifest our reality rather than people manifesting their own divine reality. Okay. Individuality is also kind of a poor word because it means individual. If you take away the words, pronounce them different. You don't need to be fighting yourself within, because that goes in the mind. That's what defeats everyone, is the battle of Armageddon going on in their own mind. You like, dislike, okay, not okay, blah, 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 going on. And with data and information and terrifying people. Okay. So when you celebrate your individuality is also, and your sameness, the sameness is the fabric of our being. When people say there's no absolute truth, it's only relativity, your truth, my truth. They're so big. I have my truth and you have your truth. Don't give me your truth when it's mine. This is like pathetic. You see these people running around acting like this. Where do they get? They're like little robots. They got this from their little group they're in. They belong now because they got all the words that fit, and then we're part of the group, and we can say that all is good. There's terrible things happening to people out in the world and animals. What do you mean all is good? You are good at the level of absolute goodness, but people aren't living in the absolute. They're living in the relative where they don't know who they are, allowing the effects that are being created through them to come back and make them an effect of their own creations and manifestations. They don't even know how they're happening or what's happening. And yet they're all the same as everybody else. We all look the same. We're all trendy. We all got our new little spiritual group, a little channeling group over here, a little channeling group over here. And so you people can do that, and it's really maybe nice entertainment for you, but it has nothing to do with you and your eternal existence. Where you've been, where you come from, where you're going, what you are made of, who you really are, and what you're the fullness of your greatness of who you really are, and every other person is. And that animals and humans come from the same fabric. We're souls. And yet, when we do that, we take a look at the consumption of animals, the use of animal skin for furniture, for shoes, and the torture that they go through, and whatever our animal food for dogs and cats. I know we've got it's everywhere where this becomes the norm. This is what we do, and people don't realize when you torture an animal, or you kill an animal or eat an animal, you're first of all poisoning your own body because it can't handle that. It's the blood of the soul of another animal or another person. And we don't have animal bodies. We have human bodies, divine bodies. No, but in science we say you're all animals. I don't care what you say. That has nothing to do with who I am. The ancient teachings of the Vedas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, such we get the ancient teachings of Yeshua as an Essene and the Essene teaching, and then he went to India and learned the teachings of the Vedas and came to teach that in Israel and to the people that he began to preach to and teach through of how you really are, and his work to give up. He was a vegetarian, and people say, "Oh no, they have a big celebration. We'll all go eat slaughtered dead animals for our celebration." You know, it's like, really? The animal's not celebrating, and neither are you. And so when you celebrate your individuality and also your sameness, we could perceive the sameness of who we are as divine loving beings with everyone we meet and the animals, and then also your own individuality. We are also not going along to get along, and you're not part of a crowd, and you're not part of a group. You're not, it's inside, yeah. We're acknowledging our unification with other people like us, and yet it's a big one. And then we'll make anybody who supports individuality as really terrible, because they're just saying they don't care about anybody else. That's not true at all. When you acknowledge both your individuality and your sameness, you notice that everybody has the same mind. It operates the same way through fear and guilt and this. And when you notice that who we are in our compassion and our love and our talent and our caring and our feelings and who we are, and even your own dog and cat and whatever pet you have, or a horse, say the horses, male horses who are free, take care of the babies. People, because people aren't paying any attention to even animals, but they'll go to a zoo and try and these poor gorillas sitting there, that they're vegetarians, and they got all these stupid people looking at them. Well, how embarrassing. But just lock them up in a cage somewhere. So you take a look at all of what we've been doing and agreeing to, because if you buy a ticket for it, because you vote with your dollars. So you take a look at, where do you want to put your resources? What do you want to have more of? The mom and pop little grocery store down here, start helping them. We don't need to be feeding the big corporations. We don't need to be feeding that. Take your power back and do that for yourself individually in your own world, Have your own world be your ideal world, because it's the world that is around you, and your own consciousness. And every day then is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity every moment to express your humanness, your divineness, your genius, of all you are, your compassion and love. And then everywhere you walk is holy ground, because you're there. Celebrate your individuality as well, also your sameness.